Hi there, Travis West speaking. When you're making a digital musical instrument, a DMI, at some point you will usually make connections from some source of control data of some kind to some parametric process of some kind. We call these designed connections the mapping. Research has shown that the mapping is an important part of the design of a digital musical instrument, and those interested in the design of such instruments have thought a lot about how to make mappings in order to achieve their design goals. However, it is not always explicit what those design goals are, or how to judge whether a mapping helps to achieve them. Even in research focused on mappings, the emphasis is usually placed on algorithms, structures, and design strategies without really explicitly stating the design goals and criteria. We wanted to specifically examine the way that DMI designers think about making mappings, so we conducted a study where we asked some music technology users to come and make a mapping connecting a T-stick to a subtractive synthesizer, and then we interviewed them about their design process and their design goals and criteria. We presented some results from this study at NIME in 2019, and since then, we repeated the study with a new group of users who all had background experience using the T-stick, unlike the participants in the first study who had no experience with the T-stick before the study. Based on our analysis of the interviews from these two groups of participants, we identified several important qualities that participants valued in mappings meant for live performance, regardless of the amount of prior experience they had with the gestural controller used in the study. An effective mapping for a live performance should consider the balance of musical agency between the player and the instrument, primarily empowering the player to perform specific sounds as they intend to, but sometimes also allowing the instrument to behave unexpectedly and in surprising ways. Furthermore, an effective mapping for a live performance should be easy to understand for the player as well as the audience. This legibility may come from a clear metaphor or analogy, from a distinct correlation between the percept of the gesture and that of the sound, or perhaps from simple, ineffable intuition. And finally, an effective mapping for live performance must allow the performer to produce effective sounds, although exactly what effective sounds are is outside the scope of this research. We believe that mappings are a really important part of DMI design. Music technology is inherently modular and reconfigurable, so everyone in the process, from the designer all the way to the end user, gets to participate in the design of mappings and shape the way that their DMI works. Our hope is that this research will eventually provide guidance and help us to develop tools that make it easier to develop mappings that allow DMI designers and players to achieve their diverse creative and musical goals. Thank you for listening.